back. We have this interview and then it's the wrap up. No?
No, this is session 16.
16. Oh, 16. Oh, we got one more. Okay. Sorry, not trying. I'm just trying to rush it. What can I say? No, it's been so much fun doing this. But I'm Coni Meyers with Kickbutt Leadership, and this is my co-host.
I'm Kim White with the My Sexy Business team.
And the lady that I'm about to introduce you to has been started out as a business relationship, but she's become one of my favorite people in the whole world. And I love her sense of humor. I love the way she thinks. She is just she's got very creative mind. And she's just a really fun person to be around. She's also the education director for the California Association of Realtors, as well as the chairwoman for the NAR Education Directors Group. So welcome, Laura Miraglio.
Good morning. Oh, it's afternoon, I think, where you are, but hi. It's wonderful. So good day. How's that? Buongiorno. I'm delighted to be here. Thank you for including me in this incredible group of women that you've brought together here.
Well, it's been a phenomenal conference so far, and you're certainly an absolute delightful addition to it. So, okay, so I'm going to ask you the very same question I ask everybody. Were you a leader as a child?
I would say I had tendencies, but I'm the youngest in my family. And so inside the family, I was not. On the outside world, I kind of was, but it didn't really take off until my mother passed away, because she had a huge personality and it filled the world, at least to me as a kid. So mom had that kind of leadership mentality. My father had the leadership role, right? I'm old. We're from those days. And but when she passed away, I felt myself starting to try to pick up where she left off, as far as being the person who got it and who could help channel whatever it was into a particular direction. And I've just noticed my whole life, whenever I've been sitting at a table at a conference and they say, talk amongst yourselves, and somebody has to talk now and tell us what you talked about, it's always me. It's always me that's trying to keep us on topic. It's always me. And that's been true probably since, I don't know, I guess since I was a teenager. So, but as a child, I would say not necessarily.
Wow. So, what was your journey like getting to become the education director for California Association of Realtors? What did you have to go through to get there?
Well, the short story is I was a marketing director for Fidelity National Financial, their real estate division, and got to know Stacy Katzen, who is her business card used to say advertising diva. Now I believe it says director. But when I first met her, it said advertising diva, and I thought that was the coolest thing I ever saw. And anyhow, I got to know her because we were buying ads from CAR and buying booth space for the then Expo, and really wrapping it in, because in Fidelity National, I was the marketing director in a team of marketing directors that supported, I want to say, 50 business units. So we would come into CAR and say, we want to advertise these 6 things, and Stacey would do these incredible spreadsheets and so on. Anyhow, where I'm going with this is when I was kind of running my own marketing business, and while we had some great successes, not everybody pays you when you're so entrepreneurial women, So when times were getting just a little rough, I got the email from Stacy saying that the education director position was open and would I like to interview for it? And I said, well, sure, because why not? And then I looked into it and found out that it really is not necessarily being an educator. It's more about being a product manager, because it's managed by the for-profit subsidiary of CAR, known or not known, but known as Rebs, with the name of Rebs, an unknown name. And so CAR Business Products basically is where it sits. And so education is just another product that we sell at CAR, or at least one of the products we sell at CAR. There's a whole lot of free education that CAR offers, but I'm the paid for stuff. And so it really was the best fit of all for me, because I had worked for many years as a marketing manager or director or marketing person, working with product managers who were, I don't know if they're listening, frustrating, unclear about what they wanted. Who'd walk into my office and say, I want to send out a postcard. Like, okay, what would you like this postcard to do? Well, I want to send it to all these other people. And I'm like, okay, so, let's talk about what your objectives are. And you have to kind of back into a marketing plan, because anyhow, where I'm going with this is I didn't want to be one of those product managers. So I knew what not to do, and walked into the role with eyes wide shut, one might say, and it kind of dove off the platform and said, I'm going to do this. I know how to do this. I've just not had the opportunity to do it yet. And it was, and it has been a great opportunity. I love the people I work with. I love our marketing manager. And I love all the other folks at Rebs and CAR. And I joined a family, and dysfunctional as it may be, as all families are, but it's a wonderful place. They're wonderful people. Sarah, Leslie, my God, I just love them. These are wonderful people to work with. Everybody's smart. Everybody pays attention to what's going on in the world and who our members are and what they need. And it's a great place to cut your teeth. It also meant that I wouldn't have to move. When I was working at Fidelity, they moved marketing from California to Jacksonville, Florida, and I didn't want to go because I had moved from Minnesota to California for obvious reasons. And so I didn't want to go. So working for CAR meant I had to stay in California, which was the best piece of all.
That's huge. That's really huge, especially when you came from Minnesota.
Well, yeah. I mean, I was in the semiconductor industry there for 20 odd years, and doing marketing there, and working with high tech companies, and a lot of them were in California, a lot of them were overseas. So I had to come to California on a fairly regular basis, and went overseas a few times to meet with clients there as well. So technology was kind of a background for me, and this has been a journey to bring CAR education to technology. I'm not a developer or a programmer, but we had to find one, and now we're doing a lot of 50% of our business is online right now.
Yeah, your online business has grown dramatically since you and I first met. So
absolutely. When I think about it, Connie, I hold you accountable for some of it, because you introduced me to where we could go, because Connie was who I talked to at with the companies that we work with. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you for that. So when we were kind of emailing back and forth about the topics that you'd like to talk about, one of them was listening, and Kim and I spent quite a bit of time talking about how important listening is. What would you say when it comes to listening? What do you think the most important component of being a good listener is?
I think trying to see something from the other person's side as they're talking is the thing that I find most valuable. I try to take myself and my own agenda out when I'm listening to somebody so that I can hear theirs. And I find that to be probably the most important thing, is to kind of shut down what you want for just a minute and hear what they do, what they want.
Yeah. I know that I know that you are a very good listener.
Oh, thank you. And so are you.
I can vouch for that for sure. So, and I think it is important if we can picture maybe create a picture of what we're hearing the other person say, I think it becomes a little more clear. And it also shuts out the clutter in our own mind that might be trying to pop in and interfere with us really truly being able to listen. That's a really, really good point. So, and listening is a big component of being emotionally intelligent, and
Yes.
being to, especially the position you're dealing with a lot of different trainers and people that want to put online classes up, and then the group within reps as well as the CAR people. You have to be able to be a good listener. You also have to be really good at emotional intelligence, being able to manage your own emotions as well as the emotions of the people around you. And listening is I think it's probably one of the best tools to be able to do that.
I agree. I think part of what I try to do and what I encourage others to do, those people that will allow me to encourage them, is to kind of check some of that at the door. If I'm having a particularly bad day, if whatever is going on in my real life, when I walk into the doors there, I try really hard to leave that behind so that I can be mindful of what's happening before me, and really focus on what we need to get done today. And if anybody on my team is having a problem, I want them to let it go, and I'll help them if they allow me to. So let's get done what we need to get done. And if we can do it without hurting anybody, that's even better, right? So I think the concept of recognizing who you're talking to and what they might be going through today, the concept of helping our members. I'm always telling my team, don't think that they don't know what's going on. They do. It's just that they're calling you from their car because they're on the road. They're running around all the time. They're trying to take care of business. So they call us when they have time and they say, I want to take this course, or I want to do this, or I want to do that. And yes, of course it's all on our website, but we don't want them looking at the website while they're driving. So we tell them, we have to give them the information. We have to not resent the fact that they could look this up. I have other things to do. No, we have nothing better to do than talk to our members and to help them, especially in the education space. Because Absolutely. When they're calling us, it's because they want to learn something. They want to know more about something. And we have to channel that and help them. And I'm honored when I get to really help somebody and listen to them come back later and say, that was a great course, or I learned so much, or the first thing I'm going to implement when I'm done with this course is, I don't know, whatever that is. It's very gratifying. And I think it's the most important thing we do is help our members. So to do that, we have to kind of understand where they're at and what their emotional state might be. I've also told when I'm training somebody new in our organization, I'll remind them that the really good realtors are the ones that know how to advocate for their clients. And when they come to us, they can use those same skills in advocating for themselves. We have to understand that. We have to recognize what they're doing and help them. But I think it's better to help them from a point of understanding where they're at emotionally or intellectually at that time.
Well, and I think the real estate business, and other businesses are like this, but I think in the real estate business, because you're constantly dealing with people that are either selling their home that they've lived in,
right.
So it's emotional, or you're helping somebody buy the biggest investment they're probably ever going to make, and they want it to be their dream home. And so you're constantly dealing with emotion of your client.
Absolutely. I think it's one of the important things in the Kickbutt leadership program. We have some courses that we've taught where emotional intelligence is not discussed exactly as emotional intelligence, right? We don't say, and here's how to use emotional intelligence when you're helping a senior leave their home or whatever. We're not really saying those words, but it's one of the things that we teach. And I think what's important about Kickbutt is that it actually comes right at it and says, hey, this is what you need to do. You're dealing with people all the time, and everybody is coming from someplace, and you have to respect that, acknowledge that, and respond that way. You have to speak their language. When you're trying to teach somebody how to, what this disclosure means, you're trying to tell your seller, this is what this disclosure means, you can't always use the powerful legal words. You have to speak in a way that they'll understand it. And here's why you have to talk about that there was a flood. And this is what this means, and so on. And I think that teaching our realtors how to use that, how to recognize and benefit from it, and say, your client doesn't know. You're there to help them. This is the one and only value left that a realtor has, is themselves, right? And their emotional intelligence. Everything else can be done by Purple Bricks or something. I don't know, but this is the. Oh God, did I just advertise for them? Anyhow, so much can be done automatically. So what does the realtor need to do? They need to formulate a way to communicate with their clients that is honest as well as emotionally intelligent, and so that they understand what's going on. I think that's the number one. The complaint you get is they didn't help us, and that's what a realtor is there to do. So exactly.
Yeah. I did you have anything you wanted to add?
No, I just talk about language all the time. Like, we all speak a different language depending on what our mood is, even.
Exactly.
And we have to be able to communicate effectively. We have to let our guard down, I feel like, and be able to speak to someone where they're at.
Mm-hmm.
Or we're never going to make the impact that we want to make, whether it be a home or, whatever the relationship is. We definitely have to translate sometimes.
Exactly. I just read a book, well, not just, it's been a month or so now, called Humans Are Underrated. Jeff, I can't remember his last name. I'll look it up. It talks mostly about how the human collateral, we crave it. We want other people. We want to look them in the eyes. We did some tests where we were doing this for a team session at work, and you had to go through a test where you looked just at their eyes or at their whole faces, and you had to identify what their emotion was. And the more proficient we are at being able to do that, the better we are at approaching somebody from a place of mindfulness of what's going on. I see fear in my client's eyes. How can I alleviate that? Or how can I confirm for them that this is a scary situation, and then calm them with, here are the solutions that I can do to help you. So wow. Yeah, I think it's huge.
Well, and you mentioned mindfulness. I think that the more we can incorporate mindfulness practices into our lives, and it doesn't matter what career you have, whether you're a real estate agent or whether you're, a teacher.
Exactly.
It's these mindfulness practices really help us to actually be able to communicate in a way, because we're staying in the present moment. And mm-hmm. I was just talking to Kim before you came on that, when I take a look at all the 12 modules in the class, really, when you look at the practices and things, they may be approached in a different way depending upon what the topic was for the module. Mm-hmm. But it's all about really getting yourself back to being present, mm-hmm. and how you approach a client, or how you approach a student, or how you approach a spouse. Even if you can come from a point of being present, it changes everything.
It does. It does. I agree.
I love, in the class, in the Kickbutt leadership class, I have one of the bonus videos I have is with Leslie. Leslie Appleton Young is the chief economist for the California Association of Realtors. And she starts every strategic planning meeting. She has a book club. And she starts every strategic planning meeting they talk about the book, so that she can start the meeting and be able to have everybody come to the meeting, both mentally as well as physically.
Exactly. It creates a mutual framework that allows for this exchange. I don't know anything about you, but I know you read this book, right? I know you know what's in here, so we can start there, and then we're on a common ground, which is huge.
Absolutely.
It's kind of like a door opener is kind of how I think about it.
Yeah.
It opens the door to that commonality, that thing that I can relate to you. You may not even have the same opinion about the book,
Right.
but at least we have read that same thing.
Exactly.
Well, and another really great thing you can do is ask something personal, because when you ask something personal about someone, I think one of the things she says she sometimes does is go around the room and say, what was your first thought when you woke up this morning? Well, that shows a couple of things, and as long as it's good. But
sometimes you just can't really talk about that kind of stuff. Or you can, but then you'll be embarrassed. I have to.
But
we are on live, Miss Coni.
Okay. So, asking something personal. I should probably leave it at that. Maybe what they had for breakfast in the morning would be a better way. But what that does two things. First of all, it brings them to the conversation, but it also shows that you care.
Right.
And as a Kickbutt leader, you have to have people know that you care about them.
For real.
Exactly. And I also think that you have to sometimes inform somebody that they have something valuable to contribute. I think it's kind of a big deal, because you've been in a group or been leading, I don't know, whatever, a team or a class or whatever, and there's that one person or two people that just won't say anything, that won't participate. Their eyes are down. They don't look like they're involved at all. And what you need to do is point out, hey, we're all here together, and what you have to say and what you think could really be helpful for all of us. Please don't withhold that. Don't think that this idea or this thought that came into your head isn't valuable. It absolutely is. Even if somebody else already said it, then repeat it and validate and say, yes, that's exactly what I was thinking. Or I was thinking the same thing, only I was thinking that, we go left instead of right, that thing. I think we need to find a way to encourage that in whoever we're dealing with.
Oh, I think it's very important to bring people in that may be hesitant to say something. And, especially if people are shy, and sometimes those people have some of the best ideas ever. It's just that they need to be encouraged to speak up.
Sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, I don't know if I'm moving away from the topic here, but the National Association has a leadership program, and a lot of it focuses on the association. But they have an online evaluation system where you go in and it gives you a scenario. It's a scenario-based program. So it presents you with a scenario. You are the chairperson of this committee, and here are the people that are on the committee with you, and it offers you the opportunity to do one of 3 or 4 things with every turn of the group. And I've taken it like 5 times, and I fail every time. And it not fail, but I'm shown to be deficient in a lot of ways. And I keep thinking, you know what? First of all, some of the answers they give you are not what I would do, but I only have these 4 choices, so you have to pick one. My honest answer isn't on the list, and I think that the honesty, the being there, the being in the moment is the most valuable aspect of it. And that situation doesn't really teach it, because it's, it doesn't give you the fifth option, which is what I would really do. I would really take this person aside and talk to them. That wasn't an option, right? It's like, well, come on. So I think that there's the integrity of who you are and what you bring to it, and letting people know that you're not hiding anything from them, that you're vulnerable, that you're open, that you really do care, and that you really want to make this the best it can possibly be, and not at the expense of who they are, or the expense of who I am, but by using who they are and who we are to make it better. And it seems like the honesty aspect of it is very much a key.
Well, and I'd like to say too, I think sometimes when people are hesitant to answer something, and I think it's because we don't know if we can trust who's asking. And so we don't.
Exactly. Oh, wow, that's very wise.
We don't want to give our honest opinion until we know that they will not minimize it or not minimize us. It comes from a place in us of insecurity.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. But recognizing that, and even asking them, like you said, about breakfast, what do you have for breakfast? Mm-hmm. That's a pretty safe answer to give.
Yeah.
And so if they learn that they can give answers and you don't attack them, oh my goodness, why did you have cereal? You should have had, eggs. If you don't overreact and do something to cause them to distrust you further. Exactly. I think it opens up the arena for, honest communication and mm-hmm. honest opinions, because giving your opinion is something very vulnerable.
Absolutely. I agree.
Well, I really feel that there's a lot of different techniques and things you can use to help pull people out of it. But really the most important one is being able to show that you're trustworthy, show that you are honoring them mm-hmm. by listening, by being able to reach them through emotion, being able to understand where they're coming from, and actually, like what you said, being kind of putting yourself in their shoes. Mm-hmm. That then they will be able to. I mean, one of the best techniques I learned way back a long time ago when I first started in sales was mirroring. And if you want to get somebody to buy from you, you want to mirror what they're doing, both in your voice, in your body language, your speech. If they're very soft spoken, you want to be soft spoken. If they're boisterous, you want to be a little boisterous. If they're using their hands, you want to use your hands. If they're sitting back with their hands crossed, you want to you don't want to mimic them, but you want to honor, because they read that is that you are trusting them and they can trust you.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So I think that's when you're in a group like that, if you want to really, maybe there's somebody sitting across from you that doesn't want to speak or is kind of holding back. Maybe if you just do a little mirroring of that person, and maybe they'll feel a little more comfortable, but certainly asking questions that are safe. Mm-hmm.
It's big. It's huge. It's a great idea too.
So, well, we're almost out of time, but I want to take a minute and just say, Laura, you and I've had this great relationship now for many years. Yeah. And I am so thrilled that you felt enough of the Kickbutt leadership course to put it on the education list for CAR. I'm truly honored, and I really appreciate not just all the work that we've done together to I I've loved working with CAR since the very beginning, even before Laura.
Yeah.
But these last few years have been particularly fun. So I'm very honored that the course is up there, and I'm hoping it'll serve a lot of CAR members. And thank you so much.
Thank you, Connie. Thanks for giving me the honor of offering us that course and allowing us to make it available. As I said, I think what you're teaching here is kind of the last frontier. Well, maybe not the last, but the next frontier for the real estate industry, because like I said, so many things are automated. So what does a realtor or anybody in this service industry bring to the party? And it's themselves. And so making yourself better and more aware of the best way to help these people and, make money and live a good life, an honest and good life. This is it. This is the best place to go get it. So I'm thrilled that you brought it to us. So thank you. And thank you, Kim, for having me today. This has been a lot of fun.
Thank you. Good. She was a little hesitant about doing it. So
yeah, I was like, me? What do you need me for?
Well, I do want to say one thing about the course, and that is that every single module is designed because realtors and others out there that are not realtors are very busy. And they don't want to take a course that's going to take up time and not get anything out of it. So every module is designed to show you how you can use these tools and techniques to make more money and to save a lot of time. So thank you, Laura. I will be in touch with you soon. I'll see you probably in a couple weeks there in LA. So
wonderful.
I'm Coni Meyers with Kickbutt Leadership.
I'm Kim White with the My Sexy Business team.
And if you want to learn a little bit more about the course, just go to Kickbutt Leadership. There's a link there for CAR members, and then there's .com. I'm sorry. Yeah, better say that. Kickbuttleadership.com. And there's a link there especially for CAR members and another link for everybody else. So, and we'll be back in at 3:30 Central Time, 1:30 Pacific Time. So we'll be back soon.
All right. Thanks, ladies. Bye.